Hey, what's up? It's your girl Dominisha, aka Didi, also known as Didi Says So, and this is my YouTube channel, Didi Says So. Now I'm back with another video. So as always, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. If you like the videos you're watching, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. So today we have for you our February wrap up and our March TBR. Now this video is coming to you a little bit late. At first I wasn't going to do it because I read 19 books in February, y'all. 19, yeah. So, per usual, like I did in the other video, which will also be in the description box below if you want to check out my January wrap up, February reads. I think that's what it was. January wrap up, February TBR. I'm just gonna tell you the books that I read, give you a little synopsis on it, and let you know which ones is my favorite. I did do a little TikTok reel, YouTube short about the books that I read, but I didn't really give you no feedback. That's what the purpose of the YouTube video for. And then I also have the books that I plan on reading for March, which shouldn't be too long because I think I'm currently at like, I don't know, 20 something books, and my goal for the year is 144. So all of the books that are audible, or whatever will be on the right, hopefully covering this little shiny light. And I do have about 4 of the physical copy books with me, so let's get into it. The first book is going to be Master of Me by Kiki Palmer. I was supposed to finish it in January. My best friend literally called me the night that I was about to finish it, and we ended up talking for like 3 hours, and I could have been using that 3 hours to finish it in January, but I only count the books in the month that I read it. So I finished it in February. It was the meeting, it was my book club's January pick. I honestly did not like the book. I felt like I think I was one of the ones like trying to get the tea, and I felt like the book was kind of like all over the place. Like 1 minute she was talking about a award show, next minute she was talking about her son, next minute she was talking about this. I think I have to read the book with a different lens, but I honestly don't know if I want to read it again. I do appreciate there is a section where she talks about questions that you can ask yourself to be in the position to become a master of me. So I did take those down, and I may go back and draft those up. But it's not a bad book. It's just that it didn't resonate with me because I was thinking something else. The next book is Dear Vicky by Octavia Grant. It's about a bagger named Andrew. Hates his job. He goes to school for part-time. This lady walks in named by the name of Victoria, aka Vicky. And as soon as he hears her voice, like as soon as she goes down his lane, they have a brief encounter. He goes down to the land of Delulu and he thinks they're in a relationship. And I mean, this man starts dropping bodies. Nobody's going to stand in the way between him and Vicky. It's a short 70 pages, so you can definitely read it in 1 or 2 settings. And I definitely encourage everybody to give Octavia Grant a chance. And we really dove into her collection, a little bit of her collection last year, because the next book we read was Call Me Crazy. It's about a reporter named Ivory Addison. She goes to talk to these women in the prison for committing these deadliest crimes, and she runs into Amelia Havoc. And the things that she's done to the men that she's unalived is like, you just don't believe that someone would have done this. At least there's like a plot twist at the end, and you are like mind blown. It segues into the next book called Unhinged by same author. Ivory's back. You would have thought she had enough with Amelia, but she comes back for more. She talks to Olivia. I think her name is Olivia. It's Olivia Octavia about she's a best-selling author. She unalives her lover's family because he basically lied, said they was gonna be together, and that wasn't the truth. She went to jail. She started writing these short stories who seem to have like the same names and characters as actual people, and we don't know if the stories are true or not. Like if she's like through her stories revealing under other unalive she may have committed that she didn't get convicted of. The next one, I had to get a break from the horror and the mystery and the thriller, and I dipped into my romance bag. This was a book club pick for the book club that I'm in, Trees and Vines. Business as Usual by Sharon Cooper. It follows Dreamy. She's a secretary of some sorts. She runs into Carlton in a business meeting. He's like a businessman. He's kind of wealthy, and they find themselves kind of like interchanged, but she doesn't really want to give him a chance because she's dealt with a wealthy man before. He kind of belittled her, and it's also like we're at the workplace, like I don't really want to be associated with someone my company may potentially work with. He's like, I ain't gonna work with them. Like, I want to give you a chance. He's a little bit older. He has a younger sister who's like been pushing him to date and stuff, who's around the same age as Dreamy. So he's a little hesitant because he's older, but as he's definitely book boyfriend book boyfriend worthy. Like the way that he reassures her, the way that he lets her know, like, I'm here, you need anything, like, I don't think you're trying to get my money or whatnot, nothing like that, or I wouldn't be dealing with you. And the way she's just giving strong, independent black woman, like, gotta get it on my own. But the ending will definitely give you hope and make you fall in love with the characters. So then I took a break and then I delved into the true crime fiction. Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Crosby follows Beauregard Bug, as he's like the best getaway driver ever. So you know that he, like, they be robbing banks and doing different things, and he's the getaway driver. He knows how to get rid of the car. He knows which lanes to take, how to dodge the police. His family's going through some hard times. His mother's in a retirement home, and there was this discrepancy with her thing. So he needs money. He needs it fast. He ends up hooking up with somebody named Ronnie, and they rob a jewelry store, but some things go wrong, and the people that they stole from catch them, and it just turns into like one of those like action movies where it's just like you want the protagonist to win, even though they didn't really go about it the right way by robbing a jewelry store. But you just gotta read it to find out, and I really do hope they turn into a movie or at least a Hulu series or something. The next book I read, I actually have a physical copy of, and that is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And by the time you get done reading this book, you're going to be wondering what is true. It follows Alex and Josie. They share the same birthday. They end up going to the same club on the same night. Josie finds out that Alex has a podcast that talks about women overcoming things, and she wants her to do a little segment about her, about how she plans to leave her husband, who is, I think, like 30 years older than her, what happened to her estranged daughter that ran away at 16, and also her adult daughter who's now 23, who's there, who has to eat like baby food, and she just sits in the room and plays her game all day. Really interesting stuff. um the next book I read was another romance book, Love It Only for the Holidays by Abiola Bello. It doesn't really give like Christmassy, it is set around Christmas time, but this is like fake dating, YA. So Tia, she's on a break from her boyfriend Mike. Her family goes out of town, and she runs into Quincy, who just recently broke up with his girlfriend because she slept with his best friend. And they are there together. They decide to fake date to help him get back at her ex, to help him get back at his ex, and to help her kind of like get her mind off of her current boyfriend, ex, whatever he is. And in true fake dating fashion, they fall for each other, and they want to explore that. But you have to read it to find out what happens. The next book that we have is Nickel Boys by Colton White. It is a reform school that is where people go, or where boys go when, instead of going to jail, it's kind of like a little juvie, and give them a chance to like get their lives together. They do a little bit of time and go back into society. So we follow in Elwood. He does everything by the books. Whatever happened to his parents, he's now staying with his grandmother. He does everything right. Wrong time, wrong place. He ends up hitchhiking with this young gentleman. Finds out the car is stolen. They send him to the Nickel Boys Academy. I think that's what it's called. There he meets Turner, but he also finds there was a lot of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse that a lot of the inmates or boys are experiencing. But this is only happening on the black campus. They go through a lot. I mean, they go through a lot. It was difficult to read, and it was also a little bit confusing because I didn't know what was going on a lot of the times. But I made it through, and I also heard that there was a movie out about it. So hopefully we'll get to see the movie. The next book we read was Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkinson. I read Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkinson, so I was really excited for this book, but I also listened to the audio, and this one I actually read on my live, and I was so confused. It follows Evie at the age of 10. Her brother is unalived by some home invasion intruders, where they were trying to, I believe, steal an ancient jar that has been passed down in their family. If you can see, this is like the era of the woman, and then this is a jar. Um, so she deals with that in the media of the one who survived, bring it forward to present day. Her husband, or her soon-to-be husband, stands her up at the altar, and now she's back in the media. So she goes away to, I think, France, to kind of go hide and get her life together. And she, lo and behold, she runs right into her past and has to deal with that. It's a lot of back and forth. It's like every point of view you could ever think of. It's like her ex's point of view, her dad's point of view, her mother's point of view. I think we get everybody's point of view except for Bass, which of course he's unalive, so he can't really give his point of view. It also gives the point of view of the ancestry, the history of the jar. And I thought it was going somewhere for a minute. I felt like part one and part two was really good, but once we got part three or four, I was like, what are we doing? So that was that. The next book that I read was Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Moroto. Kiko, she is, I believe she's somewhere like on the spectrum, but she is like really content being a convenience store worker, and everyone, she's getting all this pressure from family, co-workers to like get a real job, like get a career, get married, settle down. There's this loser that comes and works in the store, and he's like blaming everybody else for his own problems, but he's literally in the same position as everybody else. They agreed to kind of be together, so it takes the heat off of both of them, because if they think that Kiko has a man, then she's doing something well in life. If they think that he's there, then the heat will be taken off from him, from his family. Interesting read, and it also made me think about like how society kind of pushes women to have certain things done by a certain age, or if you're not doing this, then you're not successful. I resonated very well with the character. This is actually going to be one of my favorite books of the year so far, and I'm glad to have a physical copy. The Partner Part by Christina Forrest follows two high school sweethearts, Violet and Xavier. This is also part two to the neighbor favorite of the Green Sisters trilogy. Um, they wind up running to each other years later, and they have like a fake marriage in Vegas. And actually, this fake marriage actually helps them in both of their careers, and it actually brings them back together to like start asking those questions like, why did we last, or why did we break up when we were younger. Definitely happy ending. Definitely worth the read. It was good. I enjoyed it. So the next book we read was Single on Purpose by John Kim. It's basically a guide of like prioritizing yourself and your singleness, whether you're getting divorced, whether you are in a relationship, whether you are single, and just basically finding out how to be okay and content with your own person. I took a lot of notes. I definitely think it will be a reread. There was a couple of chapters that didn't resonate with me, that I feel like that isn't part of my story, but it may be part of somebody else's. And I thought it was an interesting read. The next book we read was Erasure by Percival Everett. It follows Thelonious Monk. I think it's Edison or Ellison. He hears about this lady who writes a book about like being in the ghetto, and it goes like I don't know if platinum, but it becomes a bestseller, and he's like irritated because he's like, that's not how black people talk. That's not how we are in real life. He's an author himself. He wrote a couple of books, like he's very like historical, and then he gets this alter ego named Stag and writes another like ghetto like book. And then when I tell you the book is horrible, the book is horrible. Like homeboy got like 4 kids by 4 different women. It's talking about creating more babies that he's not gonna take care of, like the worst of the worst, and like they eating it up, nom nom. It's even nominated for an award, and it's getting more traction than he thought it was. They want him to do guest appearances and things of that nature. And he's like, he really like dislikes himself for writing this book. On the flip side, he's dealing with some stuff with his estranged siblings, and he's also dealing with the declining health of his mom, who now has to be in like a retirement home. So it's a lot going on. But the money that he got from the book definitely helped him to get closer to his mom and be like around for his family. So you have to read it. This is my second book by Percival, and I'm really excited to find out or read more books by that author. So the last 5 books we're going to get into was the dating app horror series by 5 lovely African American women. I was introduced to Tanisha Stewart last year. I became part of her ARC team by reading her book Long Way Home back in January, and she released another book with these young ladies, and it came out like the week of Valentine's Day. So the first book is The Perfect Profile by Tony LaRue. Follows Dallas. He is a student on his way to be a bright medical doctor, and he has this rare eye condition where he's losing his eyesight, and he comes up with this great scheme to go on this dating app. He meets this young lady named Melanie, and he feels like she's the perfect candidate to unalive so he can steal her eyesight. Yeah, gotta read it. Second book is Something About Kara by Octavia Grant. So we got to read our fourth Octavia Grant book. I didn't get the young lady's name. I'll put it on the screen. Oh, Kira. Duh. Kira goes on this dating app. It's a series. Like although each story is a standalone, it kind of like guides into each other because they're talking about the same dating app. There's this story that's on the news that's followed in each one of the books, so you don't have to read them in order, or you don't have to read them all together, but they kind of flow together. Um, Kira goes on this date after the anniversary of her wedding day because she feels betrayed by her husband. He's been cheating on her. She just wants to feel love. She winds up matching with this dude who she don't need to match with. And since then, like his name is Jameson, and I said Jameson gave Andrew a run for his money. And don't call me crazy, not don't call me crazy, and Dear Vicky because like Jameson, the stuff that he was doing, like the way that he was just like the moves he was making, the people that he was eliminated because he thought that there was his woman and they only had one encounter. She barely remembered him. It was a lot going on. The third book, my girl Tanisha Stewart's I Wish I Never Met Her. Quincy, playboy type. He feel like he can get any woman he can. He's staying with his best friend Carmen. They're basically roommates, but they sleep together. They best friends with benefits, and Carmen is basically giving woman of his dreams. But Quincy ain't ready to hang up the towel. He's 23. He feels like he's young. He can get anybody he wants. He also has a friend, if I try to remember to put the name on the screen, that he kind of slighted back in high school with messing with his girlfriend. His friend tells him about this app. He gets on the app. He matches with his friend, matches with the girl. He kind of goes behind his back, create a profile and matches with the girl as well, and ends up going out with her a couple of times, or goes out with her once. They have like this great exchange encounter, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go out with her one more time, and then after that I'm gonna be the man I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take care of Carmen and we gonna be together. But little did he know, he wished he never met her because some stuff started happening to them, baby boy. You know my situation. Sometimes I know you get impatient. It was something. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. The fourth book, Anything for Angel by Kenya Moss Dime, follows Laurel, who is a recruit, used the app to recruit men to be part of her pyramid scheme. Angelo just recently got released from prison. His sister uses the app his twin sister uses the app to like lure men into getting money. He gets out. He wants to help his sister like with like getting these guys, and he also matches with Laurel. And the encounter and exchange that they have is definitely something, and you just gotta read it to find out. And the last book, The Deadliest Match by Kira and James, follows um, Mackenzie. Mackenzie lost her daughter, and she was also slighted by the child's father. He said he didn't want anything to do with her, didn't want anything to do with the baby, and she felt like she let him play her too many times. She gets on a dating app to kind of get herself back out there. Her parents encourage her to get on a dating app, and then it's just turned into a daily revenge game. She has this best friend who's in her ear that's telling her like different things that she should do and why she should give these why these men don't need to be in the world no more because they're basically not fit to be here. She goes on this unaliving spree. She's dealing with some competition from her coworker, and it's a lot that goes on. So those are the 19 books that I read for the month of February, and I almost forgot that I was supposed to give you the books that I'm gonna read for March, so let's get into that. So for March, I only have 6 books on my list. The first book we have is Who's That Girl by Eve, which I literally just finished at the top of March. It's also the book club book for my book club, um, Said So Book Club. If you want to join, you can send me an email to ddsaidso64@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link for our Instagram and our Facebook. But if you just want to go straight there, it's Said So Book Club. Um, the next book is Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. The Maid. Ooh, not my folder being mixed. The Maid by Nita Prose, as well as The Mystery Guest, which is the follow-up book. Girls with Bad Reputations by I always say XIO Axelrod. First Line Wins by Ashley Elston. Grown Women by Sarah Johnson. The Partner Plots follow up. The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. Also, the other stragglers that may or may not be a part of the book this month is The Good Ones Are Taken by Taj McCoy, Wahala by Nikki May, The Wonder by Emma Donahue, So those are the, I guess, 11 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12 books that are on the list, but I only have the need to read 6 so that I can be on the right track of basically essentially 3 books a week to reach 144 at the end of the month. This is also my travel month as well, so I haven't been like pushing reading, knowing that I only need to read 6, but we will definitely have a wrap up and a TBR for March and April next month. I'll typically post on Wednesday, so hopefully I'll post it the first Wednesday. But I definitely had to get these reviews out because I got to take some of these books back to the library. But I hope you enjoy watching. Let me know in the comments how many books you read for the month of February, how many you plan on reading for the month of March. If you want to buddy read any of these books, if you want me to do a video about like how I pick my books or like book suggestions for different genres. As always, I love you and I hope you have a great week. See you later.